Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. We'll give another couple of minutes for people to check in, and then we will start. Thanks for finding time to join us today. Oh, yeah, another couple of minutes. I see people are checking in. It will be an interesting session today. So, yeah, we want everyone to be on time, and we keep the schedule from our side as well, so not to keep you longer than 1 hour. Okay, so 1 more minute. Okay, let us start. It's Prevention at Sea broadcasting time today. Everyone, good afternoon, good morning, good day. Very nice seeing you. I see a lot of people coming. Thank you very much for that. Okay, I hope you can see me, you can see us and hear us very well. My name is Dmitry Gladkov. I'm Business Development Director of Prevention at Sea, and I will be today's moderator of today's event. Okay. On behalf of our team, I would like to thank you all for finding time in your busy schedules for joining our webinar. Yeah, it's greatly appreciated. Just to refresh your memories, I'm sure you know who's Prevention at Sea, but just to refresh memory, we are ISO 9001 and 27001 Maritime Compliance Company, certified for compliance auditing and development of maritime software. In simple words, in human world, we are a very dedicated team of committed professionals who are available 24/7 to help clients' needs when it comes to the maritime compliance. Okay, our UVP, we make clients' life easier by helping them to comply with regulatory framework, best practices, and maritime industry standards. Okay. Today, I'm very pleased to announce a series of our webinars, which will happen on more or less monthly basis. And I assume there'll be a lot of interest to those because our very own team of experts will be sharing their knowledge and experience on the hot topics in maritime industry. The topic of today's webinar is ballast water management. Are you ready for what's next? Looks a bit scary to my eyes, but I'm pretty sure that our team will ensure that presentation and interaction is enjoyable and valuable. Okay. Just for your organizational notes, for everyone's convenience, your cameras and microphones are muted. Yeah, so feel free to use, if you have any queries on the organization and whatever like that, feel free to use our chat. We will also have time for Q&A after the presentation. So let's agree that, in order not to lose any questions, let's put them in the Q&A function. You can see the button Q&A, so put your questions over there. We will do our best to answer all of them, subject to time allowance again. So these questions will be visible in Q&A. Q&A function is enabled throughout the webinar. Okay. And one more thing, the recording of the webinar will be provided to all the participants after we close our event today. Okay. Now, I think it's a good time. We have a very interesting and good speakers today. Yeah, so I'm sure you will enjoy this session. I have two of my colleagues who will be speaking today, Captain George Gatos. Captain George, wave your hand. Excellent. Captain George is our maritime subject matter expert. And also we have here a good friend and colleague, Christos Georgiou, who is the head of our product team. Christos, just wave your hand a bit. Yeah, okay. So I'm shutting up, guys. I will keep the time aligned. Yeah, so we're not we're on schedule. So Captain George, Christos, over to you.
Dimitri, one moment. So, thank you, Dimitri, for the kind introduction and setting the context so clearly. A very warm welcome to everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm Captain Georgios Gatos, the subject matter expert at Prevention at Sea, and I'm based in Greece. I joined the company in 2023 after over 10 years at sea on board offshore vessels, tankers, tugboats, and gas carriers. Today, I design practical digital tools that support compliance and make life easier on board. Today's topic, ballast water management. Are you ready for what's next? And it couldn't be more relevant right now with major regulatory changes coming and stricter checks on compliance. It's no longer just enough to meet the basic rules. It's time to fully understand and stay ahead of them. So this webinar will give you a clear overview of the latest rules that affect the ballast water management, what's coming next based on latest MEPC 83, how the onboard personnel can stay compliant using our digital ballast water record book. And the best part is that you will see them in action with a showcase from Christos. And you're going to ask why this topic matters more than ever. Ballast water regulations are getting stricter and stricter. They're getting tighter, and for a good reason. Nearly 60% of the inspection issues are due to incomplete or incorrect records. That's why the IMO is updating the rules to improve accuracy, standardize logs, and reduce the environmental risks. But if you're prepared, these updates don't have to be difficult. They can make the life on board easier. According to the Paris MOU on port state control, 58% of ballast water management deficiencies in 2023 were due to record keeping and administrative issues, primarily involving the ballast water record. Specifically, out of 907 ballast water management related deficiencies reported by the Paris MOU in 2023, 397 were related to ballast water record book and 3 detainable, 129 related to ballast water management plan, again with 3 detainable, 120 related to the ballast water management itself and the certification, plus 26 detainable, and the rest of them for other various reasons. So moving on to 2024, the majority of the ballast water management related deficiencies continued to be linked to administrative failures, particularly surrounding the record. As you can see in 2024, there were a total of 505 deficiencies reported related against ballast water management. The largest share, with 222 deficiencies plus 3 detainable, were due to record keeping problems with the ballast water record, which remains the most common issue by far. 70 of them related to ballast water management plan with no detainable cases in 2024. 99 are related to the ballast water management system and certification, plus 8 detainable, and the rest of them for various reasons. So now when comparing 23 to 24, we both see consistency and some notable shifts in the types of deficiencies reported. Record keeping remains the dominant issue here, with 400 deficiencies in 2023 and 225 in 2024. Although the proportion decreased in 2024, and it's still the leading category. It's highlighting the ongoing administrative compliance challenges, especially with the record book, the ballast water record book. This data clearly underscores the critical importance and accurate and complete entries for the ballast water record book. So let's see all the changes affecting the ballast water record book and record keeping and what is coming next. The first one is the new ballast water record book format, which is contained in NPC 36980, which is mandatory from 1st of February 2025. Now the vessels must follow a new expanded format for the ballast water record book, using now code letters instead of item numbers. And more details are required for operations like ballast water management system failures, challenging water quality conditions, tank cleaning isolation, and contingencies. Our Morse ballast water record is built according to this format. Next one. Challenging water quality guidance, which is contained in MEPC 38781. This helps the onboard personnel to manage cases when ballast water system can't perform properly due to poor water quality. That means muddy water, hydrocarbon, sediment levels. The onboard personnel must try all possible solutions here before bypassing the system, log all actions in the ballast water record book, including the alarms, troubleshooting and bypass, and then flush and treat tanks afterward to meet the discharge standards. Morse ballast water record book helps record the full story, from the trigger of the challenging water quality to flushing and final compliance. Next, we move to sewage grey water in ballast tanks guidance, which is contained in Ballast Water Management 2, Circular 82. Ballast tanks can now be used temporarily for treated sewage or grey water, but some strict steps must be followed. First, no mixing. Second, flushing before and after, and of course, proper log entries under 4 days. We've made it easy for the onboard personnel to log these operations clearly and correctly. We are going to show it to you. The last one is the new guidance on record keeping contained in the latest Ballast Water Management 2, Circular 80 Revision 1, which was released back in October 2024. This contains updated examples and code entries for challenging water quality events, bypasses and troubleshootings, and tank-by-tank operations. Our system, as you will see later, complies fully with these codes and the templates of this guidance, making it simple for the onboard personnel to stay consistent and correct. And that was a summary of what has changed. Now let's see what's coming next based on the latest MEPC 83. So, ballast water management system code updates, ship-specific crew training, new maintenance log as part now of the ballast water record. Updates to inspection procedures where port state control and flag inspections would check the ballast water management system operation, the alarm logs, and all of that should be logged in the new maintenance log. These amendments to the ballast water management proposed at MEPC 83 are not yet effective, and they are expected to be finalized by MEPC 84 in 2026, adopted by MEPC 85, and could enter into force around 2028 following the usual IMO time. We're already adapting our ballast water record book to support these changes, so you can keep your maintenance log, operations, and alarms all in one place. So let's make it practical. And Christos now will show you how our digital ballast water record book lets you log operations, the bypasses, the failures, the isolation of tanks, and challenging water conditions in just a few clicks. Thank you.
Alrighty, so we have a few comments. I believe it's related to the quality of the sound from Captain Gados. I just wanted to take a small break at the moment right now to ask if the team can hear me clearly, and maybe we ask Captain Gados to disconnect and reconnect onto the meeting. So, team, how do I sound? Excellent. Fantastic.
Very well. Yeah, very well. Thank you, Christos. Yeah, sure.
So maybe Captain, try disconnect and reconnect maybe the problem is down at your side. Apologies for that. As always, we do have some minor technical issues. Alrighty. Okay. So let me begin. As we're going to be doing a very interesting firstly, thank you, Captain Rados, for the update and the information delivered previously. As we are going to be doing a very interesting scenario with the captain, I just wanted to quickly go through, for those who are not aware of our logbook solution, just a brief overview of what we have specifically for Ballast. So this is the main screen where we have all of our logbooks, and we go into Ballast where we have the list of all the operations as they are recorded in the Ballast logbook. And the way we've done it is we expose all the operations to the users when they create a new operation. And I will be going very briefly through each one of these operations based on the MEPC. So we start with Ballast. The first one, code A, and for the user, they see the description of the code, and therefore they go through each one of the items which they need to fill to produce the logbook preview, and then of course to have it in the report. So our first one is ballasting. We have toggles which dictate the outcome of what will be recorded in the logbook, whether the ballast water management plan was followed, whether the ballast water management system was used on uptake. If you have multiple ballast water treatment systems, to select which they are. Ballasting, deballasting, again, similar to ballasting, we have our operational codes at the top. We have the form where we complete the information for the logbook, and then the toggles based on what is actually being reported. Those are the two main ones. And then we go to ballast water exchange or treatment. Now, the codes will change depending on what remark type you select. So there's a difference between the ballast water exchange and the ballast water treatment. Uptake or discharge of ballast water, code D at the top, the form, select the ballast water treatment system, pretty standard. Accidental discharge, ingress, or other exceptional methods, again, very standard to each one of the forms. Failure and operability is a little bit unique because we have different sub-operations within this. So it can be a failure, it can be an inoperability, it can be a failure and rectification, or it can be a rectification of a failure or inoperability. And depending on which of those options you select, it will have the correct code at the top, and of course help guide the user through the form. Ballast tank flushing and cleaning, code G at the top. Additional operations, I'm going to go through all the sub-operations when we look at the search. So this is where all the additional operations are recorded in code H. And then we have the ability to record our training records for trainings that are done for ballast water and our ballast water reporting form. Now, to make it simpler for the user, we have our search option. So selecting search at the top will expose all the operations. Of course, if they type in a code or a phrase, it will take them specifically to that operation. And if there is a sub-operation, for example, our code H, where we have internal tank-to-tank ballast sampling, we have taking into operation, bad weather, reporting to flag, ballast water maintenance, ballast water management systems maintenance, and of course, this is our, let's call it our joker for where any of the main operations which aren't covered within ballast are covered in code H. And of course, you always have the option to choose other as an option. I wanted to go through all of this because within our example today, I believe we will touch on, let me tell you, 80% of these operations in one example. Okay, so hopefully your audio is better, Captain. Let's go through the scenario. Floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Christo.
Much better.
Much better now. Okay,
yes.
Excellent. So we are going now to present a scenario where we are ballasting the port, and we're going to face challenging water quality. So in this scenario, we are going to do a reactive bypass of the ballast water treatment system. And actually, this is entitled in Ballast Water Management 2 Circular 80 Revision 1, this scenario exactly. We're going to have ballasting operation as per D2 compliance, D2 performance standards, which that means that we have ballast water treatment system working and the water that we are taking is treated. Then we are going to have a failure of our ballast water treatment system, how to record the failure. Then we have, of course, the reporting to the flag administration or the port state. Then we are going again to ballast with minimal ballast to make our vessels upright to depart the port. After that, we are going to make the rectification of our failure on our ballast water treatment system. We are going to do ballast flushing and ballast water exchange. I wanted to tell you that if you want to stay ahead when planning ballast water operations, I recommend you to visit Intertanko's website by scanning the QR code that you are seeing right now from my colleague Christos. And it's to tell you what exactly is doing that. It's a reporting platform where ships can share experiences with challenging water quality in specific ports with high turbidity or low UV transmittance, and that can affect the performance of the ballast water system. This database supports compliance with the MEPC 38781, as I told you previously, with challenging water condition, and can help you plan operations more safely and avoid surprises during inspections. So, Christo, the floor is yours.
Alrighty, we are going to start with a blank slate from our operation list. Now, maybe all of what Captain described in the scenario sounded complicated. This is a real case scenario, and we're going to go step by step how we record it. So, of course, blank slate. Our first is our code A, our ballasting.
So we are going to, as I told you in the beginning, we're going to ballast our vessel under D2 performance standard. That means that we're going to use the treatment system on board. So Christo, let's ballast the vessel.
So we're recording the ballasting operation, code B. We're at port in India. We do not have challenging water conditions. We've selected that the ballast water management plan is followed. The ballast water management system is used on uptake. We've selected our ballast water treatment system. Most vessels have one, but we give the option to have multiple ballast water treatment systems. We select our ballast tank, which is our 3-port. We're going to do an uptake of 300 cubic meters. And by putting in these parameters, it's prepared our logbook preview as per the regulation. So, as Captain said, D2 compliance, approved ballast water management system, and our ballast tank. And it's added into the system. And now we have a problem.
Correct, Christo. Now we're going to record the failure. As we were ballasting, we saw that our ballast treatment system tripped due to muddy waters, and we have to record the failure. Actually, when we face challenging water quality and our treatment system is inoperable, in our ballast water record book, you have the option to record an inoperability. Not just a failure, an inoperability, which is according to the IMO regulations. So now Christos is going to demonstrate you the inoperability.
Fantastic. So as we said before, we have multiple options on code F. We've selected inoperability, which is of course updated as well, the operational code. We've received also a notification for the user saying that by recording this, it's going to set the standard of the vessel to D1 compliance and give them a bit of feedback with what that means. We set the port, we add in the description of the failure, and it's now recording the code F with items 1, 2, and 3 with the description of the failure as a failure operation. And we have that now in the system.
Also, and the toggle for the challenging water conditions, we stated that it was a challenging water condition, so the report must be different when we record. Yes. If you see, yes, owing to challenging water conditions.
Correct. All right, so we've now recorded the failure. We have to tell the flag or the port state.
Yes, yes, of course. So we have a failure and we have to report. And when and why do we report? So if your ballast water management system fails and you cannot treat the ballast water as required, or you have to bypass the system, or you risk discharging untreated or improperly treated ballast water into aquatic environments, you must immediately record the failure in the ballast water record book as we did, inform the flag state, and notify the relevant port authority before arrival if it is possible. The reporting is mandatory under the Ballast Water Management Convention and specifically under regulations B4 and B6. So let's see the reporting.
We use our code H, which is our operation, which allows multiple operations. Okay, and what we have selected as a type is report to flag state, port state of failure of ballast water management system. We have no item codes for code H, but we've prepared the description of the entry. And what I'd like to bring everyone's attention to, as previously, this was blank. We also notify the user that as they have reported inoperability, the first is our ballast water treatment system is now non-operational. The performance standard of the vessel has dropped from D2 to D1, and the treatment system inoperability due to challenging water quality. So these notifications will stay available, notifying the user based on the failure that they've recorded, that this is the current state of the vessel and the ballast water management system and the treatment system. And we have our code H in.
Okay, so now we are going to ballast again our vessels with minimal ballast in order to make our vessel upright and depart from the port. So the next one is ballasting operation with D1 vessel performance. And we should state that it was due to challenging water condition. So, Christo?
So we go back to our code A, ballasting. Again, we're still in the same port in India. We have set challenging water conditions to yes. We still have our notifications. And it's now locked our ballast water management plan followed toggle to yes, because you cannot not follow the ballast water management plan. And now we've added our 3-port ballast tank and our 3 starboard ballast tank, again with the uptake for stability. And it's prepared for us the logbook entry, again following what was configured. So yes, approved for challenging water quality, minimal safe ballasting, none bypass due to ballast water management system inoperability in challenging water conditions, and of course the uptakes and the tanks.
Okay, now we have ballasted our vessel and we departed from the port. Now we go outside, out of the territorial waters, and we have rectified the inoperability. And now we have to record code F, but code F4 only. Christo?
So back to our code F operation, we have the option for rectification. We do not state how we rectified the issue. What we do state is we find which issue was inoperable as a selection. It gives the date, the actual failure, and then we just define what was done to achieve the rectification. So the filters were cleaned and where they were cleaned. Again, we're still on D1. We still have the failure. We still have the treatment system inoperability. And we only record an item number 4 for our code F, which is the rectification of the inoperability for the ballast system.
Now, let's say that our tanks, our treatment system is now working, and we have to clean the tanks that we ballasted with challenging water. So we need to clean and flush them and remove all the disposal of sediments. Right now, Christos is going to show you how are we doing the cleaning and flushing operation.
As per the previous operation was rectification, we can see now all the notifications are gone because now the vessel has gone from D1 to D2 or D4. So, and of course, the ballast water treatment system is now made operational. So now those previous notifications are no longer valid, so they've been removed, and we notify that we are now back into D2 compliance for this vessel. We've gone to code G, ballast water cleaning or flushing, and we've selected that we are doing tank flushing we're flushing out without treated waters. We've set the mandatory fields and the position. We're doing it at sea. We've added our tanks, which is our 3 port and our 3 starboard. We've set the discharge and our uptake quantity. And of course, it's prepared our preview of what was done for our code G. And now we have that as well recorded and signed.
Okay. Now we've cleaned, we've flushed our tanks with water that we have took outside of the, let's say, territorial waters, but we have to treat this water or to make a ballast water exchange. So if we want to treat the water that it is inside our tanks, we're going to use code C2, but this code C2 is for treated internal treatment of ballast water. Right now, we're going to show you code C1, which is ballast water exchange. And now Christos will show you.
So we've selected ballast water exchange. Our operational codes are C1. We state that the ballast water management plan was followed, the management system was used. The exchange was not in a designated area. We've set the position of where the exchange was done. We've added in our 3 port and our 3 starboard ballast tanks. We set our discharge and our uptake quantity, and it prepares us our C code logbook preview as per what was configured there and signed the operation into the system.
So now that we have made the ballast water exchange, let's record a deballasting operation as per D2 vessels performance standard and make our tanks 0 nil. Christo?
So this is to set us up for the next scenario as well, because we are going to take these tanks out of operation. So we're now at the port of Singapore. We are deballasting, ballast water management plan followed. Ballast water management system was used at discharge. We've selected our ballast water treatment system, and we also discharging. There was no contingency plan required for the discharge. We select our 2 tanks. We set our ROB to 0, discharge the tanks fully using pumps. And of course, our logbook preview is now ready and in the correct format for the deballasting operation. Okay, so I think that was one realistic scenario where challenging water was taken on board into the ballast tanks, and now we're doing an additional bonus onto that scenario by showing how we're going to take these tanks out of operation. So, Captain, anything else to add to that?
Yes, I would like to say a few words about the next code. Code 8 is about taking out of operation the ballast water tanks. So if we want to accommodate to store sewage water or grey waters, but treated, then now we have the option to use code 8 and take out of operation ballast tanks, and again with code 8 take them back into operation. So as per ballast water management 2 circular 82, the use of ballast tanks for treated sewage water or grey water must be only temporarily and only if permitted by the flag administration and the port state. And as I told you before, the sewage or grey water must be treated and not treated. So there are steps to be followed. First, you have to empty the tanks with deballasting. Then you have to flush the tanks. Then you have to ensure full separation of the tanks that we solve the treated sewage or grey water by using the dedicated piping or the isolation valves to avoid contamination. Then, as I told you, we're using code 8 to log the isolation in the ballast water record book, stating the tanks that are taken out of operation. After that, we do not record any operations related to the sewage water or grey water into the ballast water record book. We handle it as MARPOL Annex 4. Then, when the tanks are emptied from the treated sewage or grey water, we log the connection to the ballast water record book by using again the code dates, stating the tanks that are back to operation. After that, we have to fully flush and clean the tanks without using the treatment system to avoid malfunction due to possible remains of sediments from the treated sewage grey waters. And we record under code G, stating that the tanks were flushed without treated water. The next one is going to be a full flush again of the tanks, now with treated water. And we're going to record it with code G. And we are going to state it that the tanks were flushed with treated water. Now the tanks are going to be ready to store the ballast. Christo.
So we go to our code H operation. We set that we're using the ballast water tanks for non-ballast water purposes and taking out of operation, ready for the user at the top here, description. We set the seal number that we're going to break. We've selected our 2 tanks that we've been using throughout these scenarios, so our 3 port and our 3 starboard. Both of them, because the previous operation we deballasted them, have 0 ROB of ballast. We've added in the comments that for our 3 port it's treated sewage, and for our 3 starboard it's treated grey water. It's prepared our entry at the bottom, and we've added into the system. So we've used
now, Yes, we took the ballast tanks out of operations to accommodate the sewage water, the treated sewage grey water. After that, as I told you, we do not do anything, any entries in the ballast water record book regarding those tanks. We do not record any discharge or uptake or something. And after that, after we finished, we have to record the next code for those tanks is going to be again the code H, taking them into operation. So, Christo?
Reverse of the previous, instead of using out of operation, we use into operation. We set the tanks, and we of course have the corresponding operation in the logbook preview that we add into the system. So we have both our code H's here.
As I told you before, after that, when we take them back to operation, those tanks, we have to make the code G, ballast cleaning and flushing. First, without treated water, in order to minimize the possibility that some sediments have stuck in the tanks and are going to treat our ballast treatment system. And after that, again, a full flush for the tanks to make sure that it's absolutely clean.
Back to our code G operation, and it is in Singapore. We've selected both of the tanks again, so our 3 port and our 3 starboard. We've set the uptake and the discharge quantity for each, which is going to take our ROB for each one of these tanks back down to 0, and we record the operation. We can also see now that the cargo holds have been reconnected back into the system as a notification. And maybe I missed it on the previous operation. When the tanks were taken out of operation, it also was there as a module notification that the tanks were taken out of operation. And there's our code G.
So now, We have a ballast water reporting form. The ballast water reporting form is an official document used to provide coastal or port state authorities with detailed information about the ship's ballast water operation. It helps them to assess risks and monitor compliance. Some regions like the United States, Canada, Australia, or some European ports requires to be sent prior to arrival, often 24 to 72 hours in advance. The reporting form is a short summary of the ballast water record book. It shows that your ballast water plan matched what you actually did and that everything was recorded correctly. Moore's ballast record book helps you record properly this form and produces the official IMO format, as you can see later, which can be submitted directly to the authorities.
So I've presenting the ballast water reporting form operation, which is the one right at the end, where we've selected 2 tanks to bring the history of the tanks as well to the form, and of course now signing the ballast water reporting form with the option to now view the reporting form, which is in accordance with the IMO template. Even to the tick boxes, Captain, that we put in instead of just saying yes or no.
Yes.
We followed it, yeah.
So it is plug and play. You record it and you print it and you send it. That's it.
Yes. I believe that concludes our scenarios and presentations. I think we can take a 2-minute break to collect all the questions, and we open the floor to any questions from any of the participants.
You have 2 minutes, Christos. Thank you very much, guys. Well done on time. First of all, well done. Very interesting, informative presentation, diving into the regulation amendments. Very nice statistics, I say, as well as diving into a ballast water logbook we have with very fantastic and interesting scenarios. I hope our guests also found this informative and enjoyable. Now I see the questions coming, so I would like to start the Q&A session. Just to remind our guests to put the questions on the Q&A, which is enabled. So please don't be shy, challenge us, and we will do our best to answer the questions. So the first question we received, is it possible to view the ballast water management plan in the software? I guess that's for Christos.
That's a good question. Actually, we have within our roadmaps the introduction of document management into the Morse platform, and this is something which has come up on with a few of our top customers, asking how can we visualize also the ballast water management plan as a reference as they are creating the entries within the ballast logbook. So that's something for the future. Definitely value of having that available within the logbook for a review. Of course, most companies also have their own document management systems, but having that available there during the time of the operation recording for any clarification does make sense. I think we can move on to the next question, Dimitri.
Good. Thank you, Christos. As business development guy, I would like just to add that we will be happy to follow up and provide more details and after contacting directly the guests. Okay, the question number 2, we have some vessels may need to store fresh water in a dedicated ballast tank to ensure they have suitable water for dilution or chemical treatment, depending on the system design. Consequently, during ballast or deballast operations, the operator must transfer water from this tank to the treatment system, along with the ballast water being uptaken or discharged. How can this be reflected in the ballast water record book?
I believe this question is for me. It's a technical question.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So yes, as I understand, a vessel uses fresh water in tanks so that the treatment system can use it in order to operate correctly. We've seen that scenario happening, and we had questions related to this matter from major clients. To accurately reflect this process in the ballast water record book, in addition to code A or code B when ballasting or deballasting, you can use code H, which is internal transfer. And if you go to Ballast Water Management tool, Shaker 80 Revision 1, the guidance for ballast operations, you use this code H and you transfer water from the dedicated tank to the tanks that are getting affected during the ballast operation. So you are doing the ballasting or deballasting, and you record the amount that has been ballast, and then you record an internal transfer from the tank of fresh water to the tanks that are affected. Let's say fresh water was stored in after peak, and you were doing ballasting to 3 port and 3 starboard. You are going to do the ballast, and after that, you're going to record a code 8 internal transfer from this tank after peak to 3 port and 3 starboard.
Thank you, Captain George. I guess there's one more question or more questions for you. What happens if the failure is rectified immediately?
That means that we had a failure and it was operable again, and we didn't have to do anything. So there is a guidance for that, and it is clearly stated in the guidance and the circulars. You can just record codes, code F, 1, 2, and 3, plus 4 in the same record. Let's say that now I had a failure at 10:45, and it was rectified immediately. So I'm going to record code 1, 2, and 3, which is going to state the failure and the time. And after that, the rectification, which happened, let's say, after 1 hour.
I think, and just to add on to that, if you recall when we did the code F, we had multiple options. There is an option there for failure and rectification. So therefore, you, in the same operation, capture both the details there, so you don't force the seafarer to create separate entries, and makes it simpler for them. There is an interesting question that I would like to definitely tackle. It's the one retaining to quantities on operations, because we've had this question from other customers before, Captain. So Dimitri, can we read that question?
Yeah, sure. Reading it now. Regarding retained quantities on operation under ABC has been clarified with flags if related to rope on tank or to overall ballast on board, and if the exchange separates treated with untreated water.
Let's break that question down.
I read it clearly.
Let's do the first one, because we had to go and clarify that with Captain, because the guidance wasn't as clear as we had hoped. Captain, I'll let you explain.
Okay, so the guidance that we received from IMO, and with all the examples that were contained inside, it was quantity retained, final quantity retained, quantity on board, and all this stuff. So we communicated with flags, and we kindly asked them what is required to be recorded as a final quantity. And we asked them for two things: the final quantity of the tanks that are affected into this operation, let's say 3 port and 3 starboard, or the final quantity retained on board. And they answered that it is the final quantity retained on board of all ballast water on the vessel. That's it.
And then the second part is, if exchange, how to separate treated and untreated water.
I cannot understand this question clearly. If exchange, how separates treated with untreated water? This depends to the operation. If you know, first of all, if a tank has treated water inside and you add untreated water inside, then automatically it is untreated tank. So you have to handle it like untreated. You have to make internal circulation, ballast water exchange, or the internal treatment. And you can separate it from the operations. I think I answered this question.
Okay, clear. Guys, I don't want to be very rude, and also our guests. I will take another two questions, and then we have to start wrapping up slowly. Unfortunately, time is running fast. We've got a lot of questions. We will take them up and respond to you afterwards. Okay, the next one. Does the system maintain a history of ballast operation tank-wise? These are being checked by authorities and port state control.
Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Does the system maintain a history of ballast water operation tank-wise?
Yes, yes.
These are being checked by authorities.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yes, and I think we also have a tank by tank log.
Yeah. Yes. So we have the report for it. Yes.
Okay. And one. Go ahead, George. You want to add something?
Yes, they are automatically recorded and updated, and we have a module inside Ballast Water Record Book, which is called tank by tank log. When you want to make a report, you select the tank or the tanks that you want to show in the report, and it's fetching from the timeline from the dates that you are going to enter all these operations that have been done at that particular or those particular tanks.
And it's there because it's a requirement, not because it's nice to have.
Thank you, guys. The very last one, maybe two last ones. Freshwater mixing option in cases of low salinity in the river. Same is reported under letter C.
This is the question that I've answered previously. I think it's regarding the ballast water treatment that it is not operable or cannot work properly if there is low salinity or high salinity. I think that it's has been answered already.
Oh.
Or as I understand, if there is mixing, freshwater mixing called, no, I cannot understand the question clearly. Sorry for that.
Okay, let me suggest we discuss it internally and then come back to the person who asked the question afterwards. Okay. Good. I'm really sorry. Again, I don't want to be rude, but we want really to be on the schedule in favor of everyone's time. And just to thank you, Christos, thank you, George. Very informative presentation. Once again, hope everyone enjoyed it. Well done to everyone. And I would like to thank those who are on the scene and also our team members who are behind the scene as well, who are helping to organize this webinar and ensure it's hold. So just from my side, I understand everyone has their own takeaways from the webinar. I put some bullet points for my own, and I would say that, it looks like a very challenging time related to ballast water, new requirements and regulations. What I understood also that what it was shown is not just a digital logbook, it's something like a compliance partner. And it really helps to prevent errors in reporting and recording. Reduce the workload of people on board, which is also extremely important. And most importantly, it shields operators from PSC deficiencies, which is a compliance. Enforcing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Dimitri.
No worries.
Maybe I didn't get a chance to make this point before the questions. That was a real example of what the seafarer has to report to be in compliance for ballast water logbook. And I think the key for us as software developers is how can we automate that in the future to guide the user through that process, because it's not that easy, let's say, to follow that step by step. And we know we have seafarer sign-on, sign-off, so the training required to facilitate that is quite high. So that's a task on myself and the team to see how we can utilize new technology to try and guide the users through this process as simple as possible, and also looking at the previous records and what's been recorded and try to anticipate what needs to be recorded to help them through these complex operations and record keeping.
Cool.
That was my last 2 cents.
Thank you, Christos. Very valuable comments. Yeah. So I'm addressing to our guests. Feel free to contact us anytime after the webinar. We remain in touch with you anytime. Any questions you want to raise, we will deal with the rest questions which we didn't answer right now, but we'll ensure you get the answers. Any feedback you might want to share with us is very welcome. Yeah. So again, this is our first webinar, so hope you would excuse us for a little bit of technical issues at the beginning, but we managed to sort it, which is well done to the team as well. And the short announcement, our next webinar will take place in about a month's time. So stay tuned to the top. It will be related to RISQ 3.1. Which is another hot topic in the maritime industry. So stay tuned for the date. We will announce it in the good advance, and we will inform you, and we'll be chasing with you for attendance. We hope you will be interested to attend this one as well. Thank you very much again to all the participants, to all our guests for joining us today. Thanks very much to the team of Prevention at Sea. We look forward to hear from you, and we stay in touch. Wishing everyone a great remainder of the day. And thank you very much. We're right on time. Thank you and all the best.